So I just spent over 3 hours, oh my goodness, polishing a bunch of antique boxes in my collection. And before I put them away, I thought I'd share them with you guys. So what I usually do is at least every 6 months to a year, I take something called Howard Restorer Finish, and they come in all different colors. And I actually apply it with a rag to my antique boxes made out of wood. And then after that, I leave it on for 30 minutes, wipe it off, and then I just use Howard Feed and Wax, which is beeswax and orange oil, and leave that on for 20 minutes and wipe it off. So I had so many boxes to work on. Now I have over probably anywhere between 50 to 80 in my collection, and there's a rotation going on. So I did like 10 the other day. Now I just did about, I don't know, 8 to 10 of them just now. And so I just figured I'd show you some of them. So now what we have here, this is a tea caddy. But let me give you a little bit of a history of tea caddies. Now, not all the boxes I'm going to show you are tea caddies, but some people may wonder, what the hell is a tea caddy? And okay, so basically in the 1600s, tea was introduced to Europe and England from China, and it was extremely expensive. It could only be enjoyed by the most wealthiest in society. So, and then in the 18th and 19th century, only the rich and wealthy could afford tea as well, because tea was such a prized possession and very expensive. And so you can hire an expert craftsman or carpenter to create a beautiful ornate tea caddy that would protect your tea and lock it from people that could steal it. That's how expensive it was. And so they were made of all different kinds of materials, not only wood. They were made from metal, tortoiseshell, pewter, brass, copper. Most popularly, though, mahogany and rosewood were the most popular woods used. But not only was mahogany and rosewood used, all sorts of exotic woods as well, like ebony and coromandel and calamander, I believe it's called, and all sorts of, like, those really expensive, hard to find woods. So now it was such a high valuable item that their owners had to have them under lock and key. To keep the servants from stealing it. Yes, I'm not kidding you. The servants would even steal it. So the lady of the house, the wife, or the head woman of the household would always be the one that would be entrusted with the tea caddy key. And so she would keep the caddy protected and keep the tea protected at all times by holding on to that key, and keep the servants and the housekeepers and the maids from stealing. Now, tea got more affordable, though, over the years later on, and then it became a staple of everyday life. Everyone basically being able to afford tea. So, what we have here is a very old tea caddy. And if you look closely, you'll see mother of pearl inlay. This is most likely English or British. And let's go down here. You see the little bun feet. That's how you can also tell this one is really old and early. And the shape. It's usually, I believe they call this coffin shaped. And this one is extravagant. It has its original tassel, its original key. It still locks. And so I'm going to show you the inside. Now, I put little notes sometimes in here, but look at the interior. And it has this really extravagant, like ruby red, almost like blood red wallpaper design. And that's quite cool, because you rarely ever see the original wallpaper in it. So I had written a note, English, antique William the fourth era, 1830s to 1850 rosewood sarcophagus. That's the style instead of coffin. I meant, well, yeah, a sarcophagus basically is like a coffin. All right. Oh crap. You see, I always do crap like this. I'm such a jackass. All right, there we go. I'm a klutzy jackass. All right, so again, it's a rosewood sarcophagus tea caddy box with mother of pearl ingots with original key. Value in 2020 was $500 to $800. Now, they would have these little knobbed little features in here, and I'll show you that in a second. It's pretty much, I'm a klutz and a dope. I put my phone on the stand just so I could show you this. Yeah, sometimes these hinges get very weak and they could break off, so I didn't want to like lean this back and let go of it. All right, so you would see like portions. Sometimes it would be 3 sections, sometimes it would be 1 section. This is a 2 section one, and it would come with these little knobs, and you lift it up, and inside now, look at this. If you look at that, that's almost like a form of, almost like a tin that was like a very, very thin layer of tin on there to keep it fresh. If you look inside the box, I'm just going to try to show you. Sometimes it would be also lined with tin. And again, that would keep the tea fresh and the vermin out. So there you go. So that's one such tea caddy. And if I can only get this back in, because everything that can go wrong always goes wrong whenever I make a video. Here we go. And yep, very, very, very cool. All right, so I'll show you another kind of tea caddy. So if you look at this one isn't as fancy as the other one. It's more common. It was probably made by actually somebody at home. It could have been crafted by the gentleman of the house himself. He may have been good with wood and created it. So if you see this black piece here, that's like a little knot in the wood. This is also very old, and it's almost shaped like a treasure chest. So wood-wise, I don't know what kind of wood this is. It could be some kind of maybe rosewood or mahogany, or I'm not a wood expert actually. And again, you see that beautiful red like wallpaper that's built in there. Now, when I got this, the knobs were missing. And so what I did was I went on Amazon and I got old looking, distressed looking, antique looking knobs, and I just replaced them myself. So there you go. And you can see it's lined with the original, like very thin tin lining, which is quite interesting if you look at that, because usually it's long gone. Now I do see, which is quite interesting, an original knob in here that I didn't even notice before. So here's what the original knob would have looked like on the little drawer top. So there you go. I still have it. That's awfully cool. And again, we have a 2-compartment tea caddy. And voila, and it still has an odor or an aroma of tea when you open it up. All right, so that's another one down. All right, let me show you another. The oldest one in my collection is from the 1700s. I have it inside, and there's no way in hell I'm going to actually carry it into the kitchen. I am terrified of dropping it, cracking it, and breaking it. But this one now is almost like a roll-top desk. And this one is also very, very old, probably British. And it looks like it is made out of mahogany. I could be wrong. Again, I'm no expert. Now, I had to replace the, don't know if I pronounced this right, attrition, because it was missing and it really looked terrible. Now, did I do a wonderful job at it? The answer is no, but I found a distressed looking one that would complement this. And when you open this up, again, it's like a roll top desk. And as you open that up, look at the weirdness of the interior. Look how old that is. And you can see it's like really, really worn. Now, this one is Dutch, from what I wrote. Antique Dutch mahogany tea caddy box, roll top desk shape, circa 1810. So that's how old that is. That's pretty cool. And if you look very close, you'll see remnants of an old, like book. They used to line some things in old books or newspapers. And I'm trying to get to see what kind of language that is. It does look like it could be French. But I did see a lot of these roll top types being called Dutch. So it could be French. For all we know, it even could be British, and they just used, a foreign language newspaper to actually line the inside. So there you go. Look at that. Isn't that really quite nifty and quite interesting and beautiful at the same time? Really, really old stuff here. All right, so next, let's move that aside. And let me put the note with that, because if something ever happens to me, at least my kids know what the heck, it is, and maybe they won't throw it in the trash can. Okay, pretty much kids of these days, like the Zoomers, Like like my 21-year-old and my 19-year-old would probably think this is garbage and trash and toss it in the garbage, which is quite sad. I try to give them the history of this stuff and explain it. They don't want to hear it. They're like, they're on the Twitter and Instagram and they don't care. Okay, so this one is pretty cool. So this one has mother of pearl with these almost like brass straps going down here, or nickel straps. I don't know what kind of metal this is. And I think this is rosewood. Now, it has a little wear to it, quite common, a little bubbling to the wood. But you'd expect this from something this old. And here we go. Here's the back. And this is quite fancy with these mother of pearl little pieces or buttons in it. Okay, so let's check it out. So we'll open it up, and somebody did some screwy things to it. They added like a little suede pillow on the top and a little suede pillow on the bottom, but that wasn't originally there. And I am guessing, here's some polish. Let me just wipe it up. I'm guessing that perhaps this may have been a tea caddy as well, or it could have been a jewelry box. I have no clue whatsoever. I got some more Howard's conditioning wax stuck on the inside. I should have just wiped that out, but there we go. Fine. All right. So that's another one. There we go. All right, let's get another. This one I showed you guys the other day that I scored off of eBay. Another really, really, really old box with mother of pearl placards. Really awesome. Look at that. Original attrition. I found an antique key that fit perfectly and unlocked the box. And look at the elaborateness of this. Now you can also tell old wood because over time it darkens in areas. Newer wood is very light. Over the years it patinates and it ages and it gets dark, and you will see dark lines going throughout the wood. So there you go. I think this one may be made out of walnut. I could be wrong. And it once had leather on the bottom of it, which is quite cool. That one could be made anywhere between 1850 and about 1880. All right, let me get the next one. Here we go. This one. Okay, again, another box with these beautiful little buttons made out of mother of pearl. And this one is not as fancy as the other ones, but also fancy nonetheless. Now, I don't know what kind of wood this is. If anybody knows, please write it in the comments below. It has a unusual looking grain to it. I don't know if you can see that, but here we go. Please write in the comments below if you're like a wood expert, because I would really, really, really love to know what kind of wood that is. Turn it to the side, turn it to the back, and you can see the grain of that wood. Have no clue what the heck that is. Maybe maple? I could be wrong. All right, and then when you open it up, you can see the inside. And look at that old wallpaper in there. And my guess, I am no expert on the ages of these old wood boxes, but my guess is this one is anywhere between about 1860 to 1870. I could be wrong. All right, let me get the next one. See, here's what I think may be French. I could be wrong. Could be English. Could be, German maybe. I have no clue. But if you look at this beautiful, actually, let me just move it this way. This little marquetry going through it. And I don't know what kind of wood that is. Could be rosewood. And what's pretty cool about it is these dovetails. If you look, all going down, almost like climbing like a ladder on both sides. And then on actually all the sides of the box, you have these dovetails going through it. So this is telling me this is very old. My guess is this was made anywhere between the Napoleon III reign from, I believe, 1852 to 1870. And when you open it up, actually, I have a note in there, so this may help me. Antique French burr cedar inlaid jewelry box with cross-banded tulip wood and ebony around circa 1870s. Now, it could be actually, because I found old newspaper in there, and it was from around 1860 to 1870s. I saved some of it because what had happened was the whole interior was destroyed, and it was lined in old newspaper that was disintegrating. Now, it originally had this pillow top Beautiful, beautiful pillow top with these little buttons. And so what I did was I replicated something similar to that with fabric myself and cardboard. And I saved some of the old newspaper. Now it was in French. So my guess, this box is most likely French. So I'm going to keep the paperwork with it. And you can see, again, look how fancy that is. This was probably a jewelry box. All right, so on to the next. Hang in there 1 second and I'll get it for you. Last but not least is this really cool looking box. Now, it's more of like a gentleman's, probably jewelry, link box type of deal. Or maybe it once held tobacco, I'm not sure, or just a plain old jewelry box. But this one has a very, very unique wood grain. And I think this is burl wood along the sides. I don't know if you could see that, but along the edges, it looks like burl wood, and it looks like some of the kind of wood swirling through here. The front is also very, very beautiful with this wood grain. It once had probably a mother of pearl piece in here or a metal piece that was shaped like a shield. It is now missing. I don't know what happened to it, but let's turn it around. And again, you can see that beautiful like burl wood pattern. And look at the gorgeousness of this wood. And when I got it on eBay, the person thought it was like a jewelry box from the 1960s. And the first thing I noticed in their pictures was this, and I'll show you. By the way, look at the inside. I've never seen a pattern of wood with that type of like almost marbling going through it. There we go. And if you look at the gold piece right here, I don't know if I could even focus in on that. You'll see, and it says, hold on 1 second. Let's just zoom in and try to show you. You see how it says something lever, and over here we have a crown. Wait, hold on. Oh, it figures. Hold on. I'm going to have to take my phone off the stand to show this to you. Stay. Don't fall now. See how we see the crown and it says VR? That means Queen Victoria. And then it says Baron lever. So it was some kind of lock by the name of Baron, or a design called the Baron lever. But when you see this crown with the VR symbol, you know this was made during the reign of Queen Victoria. So I did the happy dance when I ended up winning this box for really, really cheap, and somebody thought it was like something contemporary. The fact is that it's in such good, let me just move this stuff out of the way, in such good condition that they thought this was newer. So that's really quite cool. All right, so that's some of the boxes in my collection. I have a heck of a lot more. And as I go around and I, do my annual restoration of, well, not restoration, but, like my maintenance of them, I'll show you more. But here we go. Pretty, pretty cool. And again, we have that little roll top tea caddy. You saw a bunch of tea caddies just now. You saw this. You saw this. And yeah, I even have a Victorian brass one back there. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon. So long.